Okay, well, first off, for today, we have representatives of both the left and the right joining forces to incessantly screech about comments made by Stephen Colbert the other night on The Late Show. On the right, they're all the people who said that Obama was Hitler are saying that, oh my god, how dare you be so disrespectful to our beloved leader. Seriously, this is like friggin' snowflakes of the country unite. But anyway, on the left, they've got their panties in a twist because they considered his remarks to be homophobic. Oh my goodness, where are my pearls? I need to clutch them. This is so inappropriate. Like, okay, well anyway, let me get on with this. So, this is the fourth, the third. So, on Monday night on The Late Show, Stephen Colbert, in sort of a, basically there was I believe the idea is that there's a sort of a friend or an acquaintance of Stephen Colbert who was interviewing the president, and the president was being a douche. The guy doing the interview was, trying sort of laughing off and going on, and Colbert wasn't having it. So he sort of kicked off a little rant about Trump, which honestly, I'm gonna link to the video in the description. I'll link in the description to the video. It's funny. I like it. And at one point, he made the comment that, referring to Trump, that the only thing your mouth is good for is being Vladimir Putin's cock holster. I mean, I personally kind of have a slight issue with the whole, like, oh, Trump is Putin's bitch thing, because honestly, that hasn't been proven. I think they're kind of going down the wrong road with it, but that is totally a matter for another video. Other than that, go for it. I like the comment. I think it's very well put together, very well thought out, because, see, here's the thing. On the right and on the sort of authoritarian left, they've both gone into full friggin' screech mode, calling for Colbert to be fired. Calling his remarks unacceptable and disrespectful and homophobic and yada yada. But see, here's the thing. Those comments are not... Those comments... They're not directed at you. They're not directed at the American people. They're not directed at any type of person in particular. Those comments are directed specifically at Donald Trump. And considering the Putin reference, possibly to a lesser extent, Vladimir Putin, who is extremely anti-gay and LGBT and everything, and Donald Trump, who has massive adequacy issues. So, this is a slightly, I say it slightly, more tasteful way of basically saying, yeah, you're Putin's bitch. And that was the goal. That's the point of it. Because, and there's a very good chance, especially now, that Donald Trump has actually seen this. And if old Trump man himself has actually seen those comments and seen that video, oh God, you better believe that put some sand in his vagina. And you know what? That makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. And that was the intention. It is not necessarily even a comedy routine. It was specifically an insult directed at the Cheeto-in-Chief. The prick-tator, as he said moments before this particular line. And of course, they're all getting up in arms on it. They've started the hashtag fire Colbert, which I believe they did that before. I don't know if it's specifically fire Colbert, but they did another one in the past because some comment he made, like Asian people or an Asian person, I believe, got their undies in a bundle about something he said or a joke he made during the Colbert Report, and tried to get him fired then for some reason. I mean, these people, like, that's what I don't get about a lot of these people, especially on the left. On the right, they're just like, I don't comment as much on the right because honestly, I have lower expectations. It's like, the same people that started, like, way back when, started all that shit over the Dixie Chicks and, like, their comments about Bush and everything, and all this crap, all these boycotts and all this, like, getting up in arms and getting all offended because of what they said. Those are the same people that as soon as Obama got in office were like, oh, Obama's a terrorist. Obama's not even American. Oh, we want to see a birth certificate. Oh, Obama's Hitler. Get your damn government hands off my Medicaid. Morons. And now that the person that they like is back in charge, now we're back to the same thing. Same shit again. Like, oh, you should respect the president. Fuck him. Like, so, I mean, honestly, that's what I expect from people on the right. And also, I'm not on the right. I am a liberal. So, that's really not my team anyway. So, my team's on the left. And seeing stuff like this being done by people on the left really, really bothers me. It really bugs me because I expect better. I mean, for crying out loud, it's Stephen Colbert. All right, calm the fuck down. All right. Again, unbunch your friggin' panties and just chill. All right, we're talking about Stephen Colbert, the guy who started the Colbert Report. I and many other people like me relied on Stephen Colbert to help get us through the fucking Bush administration. He's not a homophobe. He's not anti-gay. He was insulting a baboon that somehow, through, Democratic Party incompetence, managed to get in office. And in that respect, I absolutely support him in that endeavor. If I had the ability, if I knew for a fact that my words were actually going to reach the president, I would be pissing off so many people right now. And yeah, I'd probably end up getting kicked off of YouTube. But, that's a different matter. And yeah, I mean, that's really, I don't know, I suppose that's really all I have to say about it. Just chill the fuck out. And that's something, too, that on a side note I wanted to add. That honestly, in a lot of cases, and I need to go into this in deeper into other videos, but sort of a quick touch on it. I feel a lot of people on the left right now have their priorities absolutely just ass backwards. For example, this happened Monday. This happened Monday night, and it already has a hashtag. It has got all these people, as I said, full friggin' screeching about it online and all over Twitter and everything else, and bitching and complaining about, like, oh, it's a homophobic remark, and we how it's just so rude. You know what's rude? You know what's unacceptable? The fact that fucking, our buddies that were our buddies through the Clinton and Obama administration as well, our buddies, the Saudis, behead people for witchcraft. That there's a a country, that the country of Yemen is on the brink of famine, where hundreds of thousands of people could starve to death. And our government is doing nothing, and in some cases helping to fund the Saudis who are doing it. All these atrocities and true tragedies that are happening around the world and in our own country. We have, in 2017, we have a minimum wage of $7.25 an hour. And a remark by a comedian, by a certified left-wing, liberal comedian on a talk show, that is what gets you people all riled up and all worked up and in a tizzy and actually doing something. It's not fighting for a $15 minimum wage. It's not, pushing Medicare for all. It's, none of that. No. A remark gets mass media coverage and, all this activity on Twitter and responses and everything else. And, if people in this country reacted with the kind of outrage towards actual issues as opposed to a comedian's comments, imagine how much more, what could have been done during the last 8 years if, when the Affordable Care Act was in the process of being passed, people were out in as many numbers protesting it and pushing for Medicare for all or universal coverage as they were for, the friggin' women's marches. These are things that we could do that could have been passed that would help everyone in this country. And they get a good amount of attention, but they just not enough, not that much. And not as much as so many of these other issues that really, in my opinion, are really not as important. And in this particular case with Colbert's comment, are not important at all. He's a comedian. Comedians say outrageous things. Deal with it. And once you're done with that, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.